Going. Going.
Run, 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 run.
Go for. Do you like that?
From his earliest years, Fred Dibner, the Bolton steeplejack, hero-worshipped the men who worked up factory chimneys. He loved the cotton industry, the mills and the steam engines, the noise, the smoke, and the pride. Fred was born too late. It's a sad irony that with the decline of cotton, the skill he learned in youth has been employed in part not to preserve mill chimneys, but to demolish them.
To me, you know, I'd have been a much happier man if it had have all been just like it were, you know, like before the last war. The chimneys, they're going less and less, you know. When I get up now and look around, you know, I get very depressed, you know, and think like, well, there's going to be nothing left for me doing a bit. Because, you know, they were like blades of grass one time, and, you know, now you can nearly count them on one hand. The ones that are sticking up, nobody really needs them. Monument to the dark ages.
The flattened landscape is only the most visible sign of the change and decay in all Fred sees around him these days.
This bugger all turns around in Bolton now, actually. You know, like as far as production of stuff's concerned, the firms that are going are an eighth the size of what they were. Now you look around and they call them industrial units. And the bugger all, I've got more in my back garden than what them have, you know, the sheds, aren't they? These modern people sort of, they all seem to be out for what they can get as fast and as quick as they can, as though there's some sort of mad bloody race before we all get blown up, you know. I mean, every time you turn the magic lantern on, there's either somebody shooting each other, or, well, last night they blew bloody front off an aeroplane. You know, I mean, what good's that done to anybody? Everybody's like trying to rip everybody else off. I mean, the bloody shopkeepers, you know, they sort of bought 2 screws the other day. £1.80p for 2 6-inch screws, you know. There's no justice there, is there? It's amazing now how many people there are who just don't understand steam engines, you know. They're totally ignorant of how they work and everything, and yet they're there in a bloody good job somewhere with a big swanky car. I know really everybody don't want to know about bloody steam engines, like, but really when you think about it, it was the steam engine that made Britain great, you know. You know, it's a funny world now compared with how it used to be. It's completely changed. When I were a little lad, like, you know, if you went on a ride along canal on your bike, you know, you'd come to like a big engine room. It might have been a bleach works or a cotton mill, and this bloody magnificent monster inside it, you know. All lights on and everything, you know. Now you go by, you know, and the engine's gone, and the bloody room's empty, and all windows are broke. It's very sad. Right, Ronnie, we'll bung the all up.
Don't want to make a mess in here. It's rather splendid, isn't it?
Yeah. That can hurt, it won't come off too quick. Would it? Stretch it out that way.
Good start, isn't it?
I think she's in kitchen, she wants. Hang on, we'll get rid of it. That's it.
Fred, I thought you not putting brushes up there.
No, we haven't got any brushes.
Well, what are you doing then?
Well, when I went in that way,
Yeah,
I saw this fella riding a bike with a top hat on.
yeah,
And he had a coil of rope round handlebars
yeah.
with a sweet, brush on the end. And instead of shoving them up from bottom and drop it down from top, you see. Because they've all got iron ladders up their chimneys in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't need all them bloody rods.
Well, I hope you don't make a bloody mess.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried really, you like clean it.
Ronnie's going to all this cardboard over the hole now. And if you hear a bump, when you hear a bump at bottom, we're done.
I just heard a slight bump while I was in the kitchen.
Oh, that
I'll
was
let you
nothing,
picture
that.
the
Don't
fellas,
worry.
man. Here we go. This is it. Right.
Right, Ronnie?
Right.
Right.
Right, Ronnie?
Okay.
Done now. Parlour will be full of soot.
Fred has spent much of his life with steam engines. The restoration of this roller from a wreck took 14 years of resolute work, in which he pressed on through domestic upheavals and public outcry.
This thing nearly caused me divorce proceedings and much upset. Spend more money on this than the wife and the kids and no holidays. Lots of people who I've come to know over the years with the chimneys say you spend too much time playing with your steam engine, you see. And you should come and get our job done. Which in some ways is very true. I have neglected my business and, well, everything really for the sake of this 10 ton of iron.
You might have thought Fred would have had enough of doing up steam engines. He hadn't, not by any means.
Next time, it'll have to have springs and rubber tyres. A tractor, compared with this thing here, you'd just have a little axle under here and 2 wheels on. And, like, the thing romps along with half the bloody pain. Like 2,000 quid, am I getting any nearer?
Yeah, Fred. I was thinking around 2.5 myself.
Well, I'll give you 2,003 for it.
We're getting rather nearer now, aren't we? We're getting rather nearer. Yeah, I think we could really begin to think around about that sort of figure.
That's a new engine coming in the shed. We'll make toenails first.
I think it's time we went for a pint, actually.
And the first job's the boiler.
Steam coming off me.
Now we're going to manage your
paying for all the bits and
Oh,
pieces
we'll manage. We managed before with that, didn't we? No more holidays.
Oh, we've never had any.
That was in 1979. Fred scheduled himself to have the tractor on the road in 4 years.
If you turn that up, to, nice and straight, and then make a 3.5-inch piece up to about there, like, something like that.
Yeah.
And then weld it on, stick it back in lathe, let Brian do it, we won't get a good job then.
Too clever, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, very technical. No, without a doubt. Right, give it a whirl. Give it a swing. See, yeah. Roll this end. Up a bit. Right, it's all right that long, isn't it? I'm very pleased with that. I think we'll have a brew now then. Come on, let's go and sort the wife out. I said I reckon about 4 years and we'd have the bloody thing on its feet, rolling, but I can't see us being licked in any way for finish it off in 2 years. It won't be completely finished, but at least the bloody thing will run, which from when we bought it, if you remember, it'd be a far cry from that, a pile of rust with rude words chalked on the side of it like this engine is buggered. Well, it's not so buggered now, is it? It looks, it's coming along like. So it looks a lot healthier than it did when we got it 2 years ago.
But the tractor wasn't fit for the road in another 2 years' time, or in 3, or in 4. 1985.
I've not really been stopped. When I've been a bit flush with the money, like I've bought, the final drive for the back axle. That cost me 400 quid. And I've got the new rims for the back wheels, because these are steamroller rims. But the wife's had me building this extension on the house, you see, which is taking about 3 years out of my life, like. The place is getting a bit overcrowded now, and like we decided that we'd build a new wing on it, you see. And so the thing is, with it being a listed building, everything's got to look just right. And so you've got to have second-hand bricks. So after many a month of looking round at second-hand bricks and various buildings that were about to have the big hammer, we found these about 10 houses in one row, and 6 of them had never been messed about with. They'd never been pointed or anything. And the bricks were perfect, you see, a perfect match for the existing ones. So we went with 2 Land Rovers, the wife, me, Donald, and father-in-law, and another lad, and we literally took the front out of 6 of them and brought it back here to build the place out of. And then the lad who did the drawings got carried away, you see, with all this fancy stonework, and stone's expensive stuff. And we had another windfall. We met this vicar who said, I've got all these gravestones here, like, you can have them if you'll shift them. And so, there now are the Winderheads, the Mullions, and the Winterbottoms. The thing is that, I'm a bit worried in case the bloody place will be haunted when it's finished.